Hi, it's Diederik here. I need to hang on to this Grace, otherwise she's going to disappear. If you've ever had a Marama, they're very, very independent, and if I let her go, she won't come back. And I need her to do this video. Anyway, if you remember, I did a video a couple of weeks ago, and I said I was actually sitting with a client and patting their dog. It had come in for something, and as I patted the dog, I found a lump over the rib cage, just about here, but on the other side. And I said to the client, look, is it okay if it's a young dog, healthy dog, a little lump just under the skin, half the size of a 1 cent piece. And I said to the client, do you mind if I put a needle in that and get some of the cells off and have a look at it under the microscope? And if you've watched the video, you know that that lump was a mast cell tumour, or a mastocytoma, a horrendously horrible, potentially deadly lump. And so, we got that dog in the next day and removed it, and the dog is hunky-dory. Single solitary mast cell tumours, if you take them out, if you remove them surgically with 2 centimetre margins, there's a 99.9% cure rate. So I wanted to use that example to start this video, because in July at Highlands we've got to focus on lumps and bumps, and it's because we're seeing so many of them in so many different dogs. Now obviously the older a dog is, the more potential of lumps and bumps it has, and not all lumps and bumps are nasty. In fact, most of them aren't nasty. But the other fact is that the earlier you find one and do something about it, typically the better the more options you have, the better the cure rate, and let's be really blunt, the less expensive it is. So we are having a focus on lumps and bumps, and what I want you to start doing is a self-dog check, if that sort of makes sense. So it's a little bit like a breast check for women or a testicle check for men, but it's for dogs, and you need to do it. Now this gentleman obviously hadn't done those checks on his dog, nor would you expect him to. It's not something you think of. Just want to run you through how we do it. So the first thing is, have a look at this girl. She's got knots everywhere, but that's just the way Maramas are. They're, good thing it's a weekend and I get to wash my clothes. So if you've got a dog like this one here, you need to brush all the mats and hair and stuff out. And if you have a look, she's got all these horrible big dags back here. But again, that's just the way these dogs are. This is all totally normal for them. She's not neglected, by the way. She's not neglected. She loves being out in the mud and the rain and playing with all the animals that she protects, our chooks and our ducks and our geese. She loves being out there sleeping with them in the rain. I don't know, she's got a warm bed inside, but she doesn't use it. All right, and she's got a friend out there as well. She's got her friend. So my Ava has just come in to interrupt us. All right, so you brush all the mats out and clean out the coat as best you can. And then what you need to do is compare the left and the right, and you use your hands to do this with. So Grace, sit. Okay, all right. So you can do it from any position you like, but you're going to thoroughly feel everything. So right in the middle here, dogs have a nice big nuchal crest, a nice big ridge of bone. It's normal. So, and you're just going to feel, and you need to feel quite firmly. You need to feel really firmly. You're going to look inside the ears to see if there's any lumps or bumps there. You're going to lift the lips and have a look here where there's lumps or bumps. If you remember, I've done quite a few videos now on mouth cancer, which have all had brilliant outcomes, by the way. Every single one of those dogs is still perfect. Nothing's come back. They're all great. So have a look there. You might even open your dog's mouth to see if there's any lumps on the hard palate on the roof of the mouth. So you're going to feel everything really thoroughly. Now I'm not going to do this on Grace. It's going to take me too long, and I'll be wasting your time. But have a really thorough feel. Run your hands down here. Feel for really carefully. Again, feel the toes. If the toes, I had a dog in yesterday actually, and one of the toes is really swollen. This is an older dog, and a swollen toe in an older dog can often mean melanoma. That's a common presentation of melanoma. So we're going to take some x-rays to see whether that is. So if you've got lumps on toes, that's important as well. Bitches, obviously, like this girl, and I can't show you her breast line because of all the hair, but obviously you're going to check that mammary gland line very carefully. We see a lot of dogs come in and people are trying to pull nipples off because they think they're ticks. So don't pull things off. A lot of older dogs get skin tags, so if you pull them off, they'll bleed. Very unpleasant and inappropriate. So if you're not sure, come in and let us have a look. But examine the mammary glands carefully. Compare, the left-hand side mammary gland line with the right-hand side mammary gland line. Look at all the nipples. Are they all the same size, colour, feel? I mean, they shouldn't be too hard, they shouldn't be too soft. And I'm glad she's turned around, because don't forget to look under the tail for lumps and bumps. If your dog is an entire boy, then feel the testicles. Again, a number of things to compare are left-hand side to right-hand side, compare the two sides, and also compare the hardness or the softness. As dogs age, testicular tumours, testicular cancers go way up in how common they are. And you don't actually have to have a swollen testicle to have testicular cancer. It may just be a testicle that's harder than the other testicle. So have a feel, gently of course, gentle squeeze of the testicles, if squeeze is the right word to use, palpate. And if there's a discrepancy, then come in. So you don't need to have great knowledge to do this. You don't need to be a veterinarian like me or a veterinary nurse. You just need to compare left and right and be really, really, really thorough. Okay, so I'm going to let you go, Grace. Thank you for your presence. It's good to see you again today. So what do you do? Now we're in trouble because Ava is coming back and she tends to bowl into things. Okay, so what do you do if you find a lump or a bump? Well, I'm going to suggest that you come in and see me. Now, before we go any further, let's talk about cats as well. Lumps and bumps aren't nearly as common on cats. Cats rarely get skin cancers, but they do occur. So if you've got a cat, I'm going to suggest that you carry the procedure out exactly as we talked about with your dog, on a 6-monthly basis. And getting back to the dog, how often should you do it? 6 monthly in young dogs and maybe 3 monthly in older dogs. So as I said, what should you do if you notice a lump or a bump? You need to bring your dog in to see us. Okay? Now, before you come in to see us, while you've got your dog here in front of you, you find a lump, you better put something on it to know where it is. I've so many people come in, at least one a week, saying, I want you to look at this lump, Doc. Oh, I can't find it anymore. And we spend half an hour trying to find the lump. And eventually we find it. But find some way of doing it. Get a pair of scissors and cut the hair off. Get some texture, which is a different colour texture to the colour of your dog. Get some white out. Get an electric razor and shave some of the hair around it. Find some way to identify where that lump is so that when you come in to see me, it'll be a lot easier for you and me to find it. So what will happen then is that you'll bring your dog in, we'll have a look, and most likely I'll do what's called a fine needle aspirate, an FNA. It involves getting a very, very tiny needle and popping it into the lump 2 or 3 times. It's quite painless, your dog won't react to that at all. And then I look at it under the microscope and I can give you the results on the spot. And then based on what we find on that FNA would depend what treatment options we're going to talk about. As I said, many lumps are just fatty cysts and are nothing to worry about, or some other form of cyst, nothing to worry about, we just leave them alone. But if there is a lump in your dog which is of significance, or your cat, then we can do something about it. Now, for the next few weeks, we're recording this early in July and we'll run this through into probably mid-August. As I said, we've got a really strong focus on lumps and bumps, and if you come in and your dog has a lump and we decide to do an FNA, you and I together decide to do an FNA on your dog or your cat's lump, that FNA is complimentary. It's on the house, it's on me. So that's worth $58. An FNA is typically worth $58. As I said, you get the results on the spot. You can see the results on the microscope. We've got a microscope with a big screen on it. You can see what we're looking at under the microscope. You can take a picture of it to take home. So for the foreseeable future, if you come in saying you've looked at this video and your dog's got a lump and you want me to check it out, excuse me, then that FNA is with my compliments. If we've got to do half a dozen, then there will need to be a charge if your dog's got half a dozen lumps, but if it's just one, it's on the house. Now, if you have any friends who are not clients of Highlands, then please let them know we're so invested in lumps and bumps and preventing cancers in dogs that we're only too happy to make this offer or have this offer for friends of yours. Just get them to tell us that that they've seen this video and that they want to take up our offer. And if they want to use your name as a recommendation, we'll send you a little thank you for your thoughts as well. So hope this has been of some value. If you've got any questions at all, please give us a yell. In the meantime, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.